Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the Morning Volatility Report. As I am Giovinazzi, Chief Operating Officer of OptionPit.com, welcoming you to said Morning Vol Report. Our weekly class next week. I think Mark, Keith, and I will be teaching on this one. I'll be doing the basics. Mark will be doing some trades. Keith will be doing some trade ideas. But really learning how to use weeklies, especially with a market like this, understanding how the weeklies work. They are unique because their Greek profile is unique because they're timed expiration. So they're a very flexible product. Probably one of the most successful launches besides the VIX since they invented the SPX many, many moons ago. So everything will be right around weekly options. You can check out an intro for free on our YouTube channel here. Also, we have our Trader Summit in 2018. Don't forget. I think there's a few spaces left, but that's it. So you will be learning a lot. We'll have Russell. We'll do some black box trading. We're going to be creating some trader spreadsheets that you can go home. Everything will be just for people that are at the session. There will be a mock trading session in the SPX pit, which is always fun. We'll do some breakout sessions as well for helping just helping traders generate trade ideas on their own and looking for edge in the market. So that's what our Pro Trader Summit will be. Plus there's fun and food and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go on. So I think one of the more interesting topics, or at least lately, is if we take a look, is I'll get to vol in a minute, but I want you to look at like Facebook. I thought this was interesting from the point of view of, let's see here. Okay. Let's take a look at Facebook here. Now, there's a lot of ink's already been spilled on this, but okay, boom, right? It's really just fell off the face. It's kind of stabilized a little bit. And it's not that Facebook even did anything, I think, illegal, right? They're selling people's data and, all the stuff you post on, and Congress will say stuff. And usually when Congress drags you in front of them, it's generally the bottom. I don't want to be a bottom caller, but also, Mark brought something up. I thought that was very interesting. And look at Equifax. What happened to Equifax? What was it this year? Let me see. Where they had that kind of sort of disastrous plunge, right? That went from 141 down to $91. So that lost 50% of its value on not quite 50, 143. It lost $50. So let's say a third of its value. Facebook from a very high, what I would call, certainly fully valued level, has lost what, 193 down to 150. So, let's $50, $45. That's a pretty good chunk of change. Around 20-25%. So not as bad as the Equifax, but the drop has been similar. So looking for trades around that. Now the thing is, just look at what the Equifax climb looked like. Right? It had an immediate, because it had that immediate, I think it was probably oversold. But then it just didn't do very much for a while. So we still haven't had any of the lift yet in Facebook. So again, I think it's an interesting thing to look at. So anyway, structuring something, I would look for something to be more poppish on the upside and probably slidey on the downside. I don't think there's hard downside in here, but there's probably some. But I think you want something to maybe catch, maybe you move back to 160, 162, something like that, 63. I think you could structure something like that if that's how you wanted to trade Facebook. Maybe even a cheap call butterfly up to that level. Because as long as this thing is hanging around, again, using Equifax as an example, great example, it's just going to take a while. The next thing we have is VIX. And all I can say is the move in VIX today relative to the move in the last couple of days is very underwhelming. We're already trading in the 20s, but it's not coming off any way, shape, or form. So this is leading me to believe that it is possible, right? Because remember, this is 30-day vol. That traders are looking at tech earnings to kind of save, as a reason to sort of get in and sell the vol. There has been some stuff on, this blogosphere about without XIV and SVXY being, chopped. There's no vol sellers anymore. But be that as it may, we are not, this feels like a very long way away. And notice again, the ranges still are pretty hard. So if you had any kind of a vol target, I think that is the reasonable low. And I would think that could be around sometime by late April, right? If you're going to forecast fall, if anybody can forecast, but it seems like that would kind of be what the reasonable trade would be. But again, we could have another treat this weekend, and who knows what happens. Amazon is definitely, and one last thing, Amazon looks like it's pinned to 1400. Maybe that's where it closes today, end of the quarter. It seems like the spot, so it certainly could do that as it's hanging right around that level. So from a vol trade, you still have, very backward VIX. The April cycle is around $1.50, and there hasn't been a willing seller yet to kind of take that down. So until that changes, I think VIX call spreads are still cheap. VIX butterfly is still cheap. All those things I think are the cheapest thing going. That could be it would be a loose Facebook hedge if you wanted to try something like that. But as far as VXX goes, just looking at things trade, it is moving slowly, but creeping down with the futures. So, you're not going to really see any great move out of this until we get that VIX to break. I don't know if it does it today. It's possible. But every rally has generally been sold, so we'll see if that actually happens. But there's a little strength in Google, there's a little strength in Apple, and some of the big tech is kind of, I think, at least stabilized here, and then we'll see what else we have after that. So again, those are, I think are the things that look more interesting right now. I think short-term called time spreads, even in the SPX, why do they look good? You tons of data, you get a lot to sell in the front term. I think you could actually even hedge those with VIX call spreads as well. And we're going to probably try to price that out maybe in our gold class tonight. So I think that's what we have. And I think the market is waiting for some news. It's just, or better news, and I think that better news comes with earnings. All right, everybody, have a good morning. Bye-bye.